سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel.
Allahu Akbar!
So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.
Hello everyone and welcome to the PWC Monday Night Machismo. I'm your host Jimmy T, and my co-host, he's as evil can be. He is the PWC's founder. He is the evil dose. Dr. Jeff Lippman, welcome back to the Machismo, man. What's cracking?
That's right. I'm the foundiest founder. Apparently we're having an internal power struggle because you're calling yourself the CEO. Chris has been putting on that he's a founding member, a founding father. So I'm the foundiest founder.
Well, we all co-owners anyway, but I'm the creator. And Chris is one of the co-founders, and you're one of the foundiest founders. So there you go.
That's right. That's exactly right. I'm definitely the foundiest founder.
Well, Jeff, what a I'm going to say, man, an enjoyable Raw. I love the pacing for the 3 hours, dude. I mean, the main event wasn't the greatest, but I really loved the Cody and Sami Zayn bit. And let's be honest, I mean, I even didn't mind the start of Raw. Even, I mean, what do you think overall before we kick it off?
Yeah, I think that you probably need to do a recording of me saying. Yes, Jeff is going to say every week that he hates the format of Raw, that you can predict when the commercials are going to be, that they've got recaps of last week, they've got recaps of the show from earlier, they got recaps of both, they've got recaps of the pay-per-view, they have commercials, and they don't use their promotional time well. So I think we should just play that at the beginning right after Homeboy's introduction, just to get it out of the way so I can shut up about it, but I feel compelled to say it every single week, because that does drive me crazy, because I don't want to say to the world, hey, this 3-hour Raw was terrific, because, like the rest of the world, there's 40 minutes of waste in there combined with 40 minutes of commercials. But for the content that we got, I agree. I thought it was a Raw that was on par with some of the recent ones, and that is to say, I think it's been pretty good lately, and I agree that it was good.
Well, the format has kind of changed when you think about it, Jeff. I mean, they're starting with either a match or a promo, and then the top of the next hour they start with another promo, then a match, then sort of a squash match, and then top of the third hour another promo in the ring. I kind of like that because they're trying to keep the viewers, you know what I mean? So I feel like the pacing is much easier on the eyes than usual, if you know what I'm saying. Because usually at the top of the third hour, it's a dead hour.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean the formatting of the content. I mean how you pretty much know that it's going to start with some talkie. There's either a promo or then you're going to get a match, and about at a minute 11 or 12, somebody's going to be outside. The most likely the bad guy is going to be posing, and then you're going to get a commercial. And then you get the recap. I'm talking about that kind of formatting, not
right.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been little differences about what you're getting in each show isn't as predictable. When there are promos, sometimes you have to pay attention to what's going on in the back. Even if something stupid like Nikki Cross creeping and hiding behind some equipment, or Paul Heyman lurking behind a column, But you can also see MVP talking to Cedric and Shelton before he's actually representing them, or
right.
Or you can see some of the Fiend's gangs hanging around there, and that's been a Triple H thing that I've enjoyed, that you sort of have to look at everything, which is good. If you have to look at everything, then you're less likely to fast forward and whatnot. So anyway, well, let's get started with it and go with.
Well, let's get started because we start off the show with Adam Pearce being in the ring and Becky Lynch making an entrance. Lynch gets on the mic and welcomes us to Monday Night Raw and says she's dressed all spiffy for us and brought Adam Pearce. But she'll get to him later. As good as it felt to beat Bayley in that steel cage, and a big shout out to Lita for her help, but she lost sight of her road to WrestleMania and the Women's Championship. And we're less than a week to Elimination Chamber, and she knows Pearce likes to up the ante and make some fights, so she's asking for a chance to fight her way into the chamber right here tonight. Enter Bayley. She calls Becky an idiot and says she didn't finish anything last week since Lita had to finish things, but Lynch has a different point of view. Bayley asks Adam to scratch the cage match from the record books, uninvite Lita from all events, and put her in the chamber since she's earned it. They keep bickering about their credentials, and then we get Bianca Belair. She's confused as to why nobody thought to come and talk to her about title matches, because if they just asked, she likes where this is going and she wants to face the best of the best of the best at WrestleMania. And since there are already 6 women in the chamber, they should have to go through her to get into it. Pearce books a 3-way where if Becky or Bayley win, they get into the chamber and it starts as a 3-way. And if Bianca wins, neither of them are in and it's official. That's the match for the main event later on tonight.
Yeah, I thought this was sort of a weak start and sort of a weak build for a match which is supposed to be a main event. I get that Bianca isn't afraid of anything, but the odds are definitely against her. They're obviously in a 3-way, it's every woman for themselves. I don't know. Becky has sort of lost a lot of her luster for me. Bayley never had much luster for me, and her whole return, she's funny sometimes, and she's still Bayley and a good performer. But I know that her girls, the Damage Control, they have belts, but they do feel very much like they're Damaged, and they feel sort of like a job squad, and
very much
Bayley's,
a job squad.
Yeah. So I mean, how many times has Bianca beaten Bayley already, or how many times did Becky, while she was heel Becky, avoid Bianca or cheat or trick or run away before Bianca had to go through, the pillars of Hercules and the hero's journey to get back? So why would she do this? And if she was to do this, she would say, I don't think this happy-go-lucky thing works. I mean, I've said this before. She's like Braun Breaker to me. She's always the same. I think this would have been a good time to change your character and say, not a face turn or a heel turn or anything, but just say, I don't know what you two are arguing about. You I've beaten 4 times in the last 6 weeks. You didn't make my life easy for a good part of the last year, going back to SummerSlam. I don't care about any of this, but I want the world to know I'm not afraid of either of you. I'm not afraid to be in a match with both of you. I can beat both of you, and I don't have to beat both of you because one of you has only one of you can win. Also, only one of us can win, and I'm going to bet on me. I'm a fighting champion, so whatever. You guys want to fight? Come at me. Pierce, you want to make the match? Make the match. But I'm going to, on the record, neither of these two deserve to be in this match.
I actually agree. And let's be honest, Becky Lynch has totally lost her luster, man. She's so not the man anymore. I don't even know why she bothers trying with this gimmick again, especially just the way she dresses, the way she looks. I don't know, man. She just doesn't seem tough anymore, dude. She's just lost that fire in many ways. I don't know how to explain it, but
I'm not saying
she's
she's bad. I'm just saying she's good.
Yeah.
I no longer feel like she's a top act. Now, the crowd may still feel like she's a top act, and that's not to say that can't change, but she's been in some big position matches and has had some, pretty bad botches and some pretty awkward spots. So, I'm not really sure her heart's really into it, and I think that she is enjoying like the little bit role she's getting in Hollywood and in entertainment. I think she's just trying to ride this long enough until she can have more of a show business career. And if that's the case, she needs to get more charming. She needs to get more charming.
She's boring, dude.
Yeah, she needs to get more endearing, and frankly, she needs to sound more feminine. I don't know how else to say it, but the Irish accent from an American ear standpoint, and we're talking about an American audience, isn't the most feminine accent there.
Oh, come on, Jeff.
Exactly.
Too much Irish, man. Too much Scottish going on too, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, Scottish is a whole different thing. The Scottish just sounds like they're ready for war.
Banger after banger.
Yeah. Scottish you know to be afraid. Irish just keeps you confused, which is even scarier. I'd rather
It is confusing. It's a confusing accent. They're not quite British, yet they kind of sound British, but not really. They sound even like, to a less extent, like kind of American, but not really. It's like, I don't know what they're trying to be, but they're just Irish, Shout outs to all our Irish peeps out there.
Yeah, I think we have more Irish in America than there are Irish in Ireland.
Quite possibly, for sure. No doubt about it. Well, anyway, after all that, though, we get Brian Saxton in the back interviewing Judgment Day. Damian Priest asks if the 5 other men in the chamber are ready to be in the cage with him, and Dominic Mysterio uses his prison expertise to judge that Priest will win the match. Plus, he's got off the phone with Rhea Ripley, who is as excited for Elimination Chamber as she is for Valentine's Day. And then we get the Street Profits making an entrance. So what do you think of that little segment, Jeff?
It was fine. I mean, Judgment Day is saying what they said. I like the fact that Priest has an individual goal. I wouldn't be totally shocked if he won, but I'd be pretty shocked, but not completely shocked. I do have a sort of out-of-the-box prediction as to who I think is going to win, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. I thought the segment was okay, and you heard that Jericho filed for a trademark of Jera Show. And I just want to say that the Street Profits induced the same reaction for me, which is, it's the big groan. It's big groan.
Come on. Really?
Yep.
Wow.
By the way, should we say something about, like, rest in peace to Jerry Jarrett?
Oh, yes. R.I.P. to Jerry Jarrett. Absolutely. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where that originally comes from, just quietly.
80 years old. He had been battling throat cancer for a while. That's probably what either took his life directly or indirectly.
See, I didn't know that. I mean, was that public that he was battling throat cancer?
I think so, yeah. And Jeff Jarrett still went to work on Wednesday.
It's like it didn't even, I don't know, man. It was kind of weird. And don't even get me started on that Dynamite. That was one shocking show, dude.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch this mythical show called The Skirmish.
The myth called The Skirmish.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to hear about it. I mean, I sort of thought Chris seemed to want to do it last night. By do it, I mean the skirmish. But then then we realized that we didn't know how to make it go live. So I'm like, it's really better live.
I'll talk to you about that off the air, because at least I've got to show you through Podbean to go live at the very least.
Yeah, but have you figured out how to make the camera work?
No, see, well, I haven't been on
I'm not
there
going
actually in a
live
while. I
with
don't
a
know.
black screen.
Maybe something's changed. I'll check it out after the show anyway.
The
But
me with the black screen might be an improvement, but I just don't see an audience wanting to watch a black screen speaking.
I'll talk to you off the air about that. I've got an idea, but anyway, which
I mean, could
just
you
in
put
case
the avatars on there that you created?
Oh yeah, you can. I mean, you can do that on Zoom too, actually, Jeff. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know
Look,
that.
I don't care about Zoom. I care about if you can do it on Podbean or you can do it here. We don't
Oh,
use
well-
Zoom, so don't tell me about Zoom. That's irrelevant to my conversation.
Well, that's another subject anyway. We're not here to talk about that, obviously. But we got a couple
'cause
of.
we stick to a strict agenda on the PWC.
Well, Chris Willand in the chat says, yes, boy, Austin Theory is clearly winning the chamber match right. Potentially winning against Cena at WrestleMania as well. You guys think, how else might this play out?
Okay. Since you brought it up, I'm going to raise it. I think that Austin Theory is the heavy favorite. However,
Agreed.
he is on a collision course with with Cena. That match doesn't need a title, nor really should it. We also have Seth Rollins on a collision course with Logan Paul. That match shouldn't have a title. It could, but it
I doubt
shouldn't.
it.
Because even though the Logan Paul Roman Reigns match was really good and received really well, the lead up to it, there was a lot of negative feedback about why does this guy get a title shot for the world title. I don't think they want to repeat that for WrestleMania, especially if Logan Paul draws in an audience. He's just drawing in an audience, and Seth Rollins is as good a worker as there is. So possibly you could see those two out of it. Jonah ain't winning. I mean, Bronson Reed isn't winning.
He's been impressive lately, though, dude. But he's not winning.
Impressive
No.
in the ring, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about him. And clearly, you saw him make a face at Otis. So I'm getting my dream of two bowling balls
I thought
that are
of
going to
you.
be on a collision.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought of you as soon as I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, is this
Right.
shit really happening?
So
Please.
obviously, they're going to be worst enemies for like the next 6 to 8 months. But then they're going to be best friends because everyone can see that the wrecking balls must happen. In any event,
Boy,
so is Gargano also in that match?
I think he is, and I don't
All right,
care.
so he's the ring general. He's obviously not winning because he's a zero, but he's an obvious candidate for the pin taker, which leaves Montez Ford. Street Profits are dead as dead. If they should break up
come
the
on.
Street Profits, maybe not immediately, but soon. Everyone thinks Montez Ford is going to be a star, so why not now? It's a surprise. He's a face. We know Roman ain't losing the title, so you want to have a face win a title, and it's Black History Month. So I'm putting that out there that it could play out that way. Yes, I acknowledge that Austin Theory is the favorite. I think in fans' minds, Seth Rollins is a favorite, but nah. So I'm going with Montez Ford.
Seth has no chance, unfortunately, on winning that.
Unfortunately, thank God he's wearing cartoon character boots.
Oh
Like he's
boy,
frickin'
we'll
Mickey
get to
Mouse.
that.
So you got it here, people. A PWC QAcon Jeff exclusive.
Jesus. Anyway, look, I think you're right when it comes to Austin Theory being the favorite. I think more than likely he should win, but at the same time, I can see Montez Ford. You're right. I mean, if there's anyone that's a smoky, it's definitely Montez if they want to, like, you know what I mean, twist things a little bit. And it is Black History Month, so that's a possibility, but I'm still leaning towards
A lot of tag
Austin
teams
Theory.
now, and the Profits keep losing, and they look despondent. And listen, you could have, there's a ton of ways to protect people when there's 6 men in a match. I'm just saying the timing could be right. Dawkins could turn on him at some point, and then you have this mini feud to, while Theory is distracted by Logan, and Seth is not Logan, by Cena, and Seth is distracted by Logan Paul, and then maybe you can revisit that after WrestleMania. Dawkins and Montez Ford is the grudge match at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it is my prediction. I seem to be alone on this. But remember, I was alone on something else not too long ago and got that right also, and that was Gallus.
I still can't understand those guys. But anyway, Chris also says, though, how do you guys think they will split the unified Universal WWE Championship belts? How would you each like to see the story play out? Right now, I'm going to have to say this. It's going to have to go into a three-way, dude. The way they're going, the way they're doing things right now, I feel like that's the only way to go at the moment.
Well, that wasn't the question. So
That
you're
wasn't
saying
the
they're not
question.
going to split the unified title. I don't think it's going to be a three-way. I think there's no chance of, and it's the story of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So sorry, not sorry.
Well, now that they've inserted Zayn with Cody as well, I mean,
I think that is just to swerve people. I think that's just for people to acknowledge reality. I think that's just to keep people watching the segment and have Raw, have something that people would watch. Anyway, everybody knows what I would like. I would like for Lashley to win this match against Brock, with or without the help of the Hurt Business reformed. I would like
surely
there to
that's
be-
happening, man.
and I would like for them to go on a killing streak, and I would like for Lashley, I would like for Lashley to be one of the people to win the title, but I don't think Roman is working both nights. I don't necessarily think he
Not
should.
that he does, Jeff, anyway. I mean,
But
shit.
if he does, and if he loses to Cody, at WrestleMania, which everyone thinks he does, with or without shenanigans, then he's protected by losing to Lashley because A, Lashley's got his buddies, B, Roman's tired, and C, the bloodline is sort of, in tatters and, in sort of retreat or have their own problems to worry about. So that's what I would like to see. It ain't going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but a man can still hope. That's how I would like. That was the question. I don't think they're going to split the titles before WrestleMania. And keep in mind that for Roman to hold the title for more than 1,000 days, he has to hold at least the Universal title beyond WrestleMania. But you could say he's challenging for the United title. So unless Roman drops the title before then, somebody's going out with the United Undisputed title at WrestleMania.
As of today, Jeff, he is officially 900 days as champion.
Right. And it's less than 100 days to WrestleMania. It's about 60.
Yeah. As long as he keeps the Universal belt, because obviously the WWE Championship hasn't had it as long. Oh, excuse me. Oof. Anyway, let's go back, though, to Raw. And like I said, I just don't see those belts getting split just yet. Anyway, it is Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Street Profits in Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. So, to my surprise, Jeff, Judgment Day win by pinfall with a coup de grace from Finn Balor onto Dawkins.
Why does it surprise
in
you?
a fine match. Sorry, Jeff?
Why does it surprise you? Judgment Day is the story
They're on a
now.
roll,
The story of
dude,
the Street
right now.
Profits is that they can't win to save their lives.
That's true. Right now. I mean, again, they're teasing the split up, but we'll see.
Well, more support for my theory.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been teasing this now for 6 months, it feels like, at least.
It's like
Maybe
2
a
years
year.
they've been off and on deciding
Maybe
whether
2
they want to
years
do this.
even, yeah.
But,
No, you're
but
right.
yeah, but it feels like it's trigger time. I mean, Dawkins is a guy. Montez can be a star.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Dawkins. We'll see what happens with them two. But anywho,
You feel bad for Marty Jannetty?
come on. I mean,
Wow.
well, I mean, you're right. I do
I
feel
mean,
bad
Marty
for him.
Jannetty, the guy who got betrayed, was not the Marty Jannetty who's been a buffoon the last 15 years.
Buffoon's an understatement, actually, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, the Marty Jannetty, nobody felt much differently about Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels than they did about Ricky Morton, and Robert Gibson. Robert Gibson was the Jannetty.
Well, we'll see how good Montez really truly becomes, but until then, the jury's still out, actually, Jeff, but we'll see. Post-match, though, we get Edge and Beth Phoenix hit the ring and attack Judgment Day. Beth takes Dominic out with a spear, but Rhea Ripley appears and clobbers her before she can hit the glam slam.
Even though they
Riptide.
said she wasn't there earlier. They tricked us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised because she was actually down here in Australia, actually going to the beach and shit like that. If you can't tell, she's got a summer tan suddenly. And
Well,
that's
this-
not a...
Well, this
Sorry?
is what professionals do. They show up to work.
True. Good on her, man. I mean, they gave her time off. She wasn't doing any promotional work. They literally gave her time off to go back home, see her family, I guess replenish, and then come straight back. So that's pretty cool that they actually did that for her, because if anyone deserves it, I guess she does. She's been working extremely hard. But anyway,
You deserve it.
I do deserve it, as a matter of fact. But anywho, can I just say, Jeff, is Edge
No.
and Beth Phoenix one of the cheesiest friggin' pairings right now, or what?
No, but they're actually married, so
I know,
I
but-
wouldn't call it a cheesy pairing. Because listen, there's far worse couples in WWE. Yeah, Madcap Moss and Emma. I'm talking about you.
They're
Now,
not
how
even
about
cheesy. They're nothing. Like, they got no personality together.
how about worse cheesy married couples? The Garganos.
That's
How
true.
about fake married couples? Loomis and Indy.
Yeah, but that's fake. That's bullshit. But no shit, actually, Gargano and fucking Mrs. Gargano definitely take the cake for cheesiness.
Right.
Them
what
two are
about
just dweebs.
Elias and his comatose brother Ezekiel?
You know what, man? I hate to say it. I want Zeke back, dude. Jesus.
You did. You got Rick Boogs. What's the difference?
I'm booging out, man. Jesus
Listen,
Christ.
I plead guilty to enjoying this. I thought I'm booging out was great. That made me laugh out loud.
Booging out, man.
Yeah. I know it's
Fucking
goofy.
weird,
I know it's
cat.
80s. Guess what? I'm an 80s child.
Very much an 80s.
Well, I'm an 80s
Well,
teen. I was a 70s
oh,
child.
I'm an 80s child, as a matter of fact, Jeff. I was born in the 80s. In 82.
You're an 80s toddler. I was born in the 60s. That doesn't
I've
make
done
me 60s.
elementary in the 80s. Don't worry about that. I started elementary in 88. Did 89.
I'm not sure you're not still doing elementary. So
Hey, sure it's me or that person that's doing the laugh, really, if you know what I'm saying. Anywho, Dominic, can we just say that Dominic, you're starting to like Dominic. Come on, dude. He's actually good at what he does.
I've been
Let's be
starting
honest.
to
Come
like
on.
him with the pairing with Rhea. Alone, he's nothing.
Mommy.
But it's
Absolutely.
the same joke over and over again. But that's wrestling. But like everything with wrestling, they use it. It loses it wears out its welcome, and they still use it for 40% longer. That wears out its welcome. But for now, it's good. It's fine. I mean, it'll be interesting because if Rhea wins the SmackDown title, she's going to SmackDown. Well, Judgment Day is on Raw, so
True.
you can see things happening. I mean, not that the brand split is anywhere near as solidified as it used to be. It's not.
Nah,
it barely
it's not,
exists.
It barely exists, even
Which,
with
by
the
the way,
draft.
is fine by me. It's completely
I'm
fine
all
by me.
for it. Actually, as a matter of fact, Jeff, if it was up to me, I'd just have the brands together again.
But
That's just me, though. You know what I mean? I get it that it gives other youngsters opportunities to get to the top, but
yeah, but if you get one world championship or one tag team championship, okay, you're allocated to that show. But aside from that, nothing else. I mean, there's no reason the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title need to stay. I mean, the women's tag team titles float.
True. Why? Yeah, you're right for sure. Anyway, also I want to point out that Rhea Ripley, man, like,
Get it? You love her.
No. Have you heard the stupid rumors around online, dude, right now about it?
Have I heard what?
Any stupid rumors lately amongst the dirt sheets and the IWC? Have you seen the photos floating around online with her not wearing the makeup that she does in WWE? Just her being normal, right? She looks completely different, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, so do most women.
Right. Well, people are starting absolute garbage bullshit stories online saying that WWE is possibly going to change her look, which there's no chance that's happening, and make her like all this wholesome sort of fucking Rhea.
Well, they might
Give
at
me a
some
break.
point when they turn her face, but for now, no. I mean, but I could see her turning face once she wins her battle with Charlotte and
But
they
does
do
she
a role
really need to
reversal.
change that much? I mean, even when she was a face, she still had this sort of gothic look.
Right, but you could color their hair back blonde and use lighter makeup and accentuate the blue eyes and not the black, dark color makeup. But I mean, it is not hard. You change the way she dresses from, the scary all black to the sexy all black. I mean, whatever. I'm so annoyed with the internet lately. I mean, first of all, you've got Conan saying that if you're in El Paso and you do the frog splash and you're not Mexican, you can't do the frog splash, or pay homage to Eddie Guerrero, which is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. First of all, Eddie Guerrero doesn't own the frog splash. I mean, RVD was doing the frog splash at the same time. Seth Rollins does the frog splash. Montez Ford does the frog splash. Everyone does the goddamn frog splash now. They all don't have to pay homage to Eddie Guerrero for eternity, and they certainly don't have to be Mexican to do it. And the fact that they're in El Paso doesn't matter. I have news for you, Conan. El Paso is in Texas, not in Mexico. I get it. It's in this. It's in the South, and there's a large Hispanic and probably mostly Mexican Hispanic population there. But it's still the United States, and still a bullshit thing. And the next day he goes, I was joking. I heard the clip. I don't listen to these shows normally, but I made it my business to listen. He was not joking. He doubled down on it. They asked him, are you saying it's racial? Yes, he said it's racial. He said it 2 or 3 times. Nobody was laughing. Nobody was joking. There was nothing jokey about that. He just won't take his L. He should just apologize, take his L, and move on. By the way, everyone's saying, oh my God, all these people are experts. Besides, they think they know better than someone who's been in the business 40 years. Inferno. You know what?
Yeah.
Conan still needs GoFundMes for routine medical care and health. All that tells me is that he's been unsuccessful 40 years in the business. Anyone else who's been unsuccessful in the business that long should be in a different business. So don't tell me Conan knows so much. Fuck him. He can't take care of his own needs. He doesn't have health insurance, or he's robbing the public. One or the other.
Wow. Isn't he on dialysis right now still?
Probably. Hope so. Jerk. And and listen, I'm not. It's just that was a stupid thing I just said. I'm sorry.
He's a friend of HMG, by the way.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm already at war with this.
It's
a one-way war, but I can feel it in the force. I'm hurting his feelings.
And channelattitude.com. Disco is on channelattitude.com.
I know all these things, but he's listen. I like Disco Inferno's wrestling takes for the most part.
He's actually quite good, right?
But everything else, he's a fucking moron.
I think he plays up on that though, Jeff. Just be honest, man.
I think a lot of people say they play up on it, but they really are empty-headed buffoons. What he does is the Tucker Carlson thing. I'm just asking questions. But the thing about Tucker Carlson is he's actually really, really smart, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows he's a charlatan.
You're right.
Disco Inferno is an empty-headed buffoon who thinks he's smart. Just talk about wrestling. You're great at it. You're terrific at it. I love your tweets about wrestling. When I hear clips about you talking about wrestling, I love it. I think you with wrestling you're brilliant. People can be brilliant about something and not so brilliant about other things. But he talks about all shit that he knows nothing. And you know how I know that? Because I know everything.
And speaking of K-Dog, have you seen the little argument he's been having with Miro on Twitter?
Yes, another stupid fucking thing.
Jesus. Anyway, it was embarrassing for the both of them.
Will never need a GoFundMe for routine medical procedures.
Didn't Don Tony, if you remember, do some sort of fundraiser for him?
Yeah, he did.
Well, there you go.
Good for him. Kudos to Don Tony. But
absolutely,
that just goes to support my thing that Conan was not successful enough in the business. He needed GoFundMe help from podcasters, and as I recall. He was appreciative for a bit, but then sort of was like, yeah, fuck you. You're just a fan. You owed me. I think he's sort of a bit generally. But listen, anyone who's been in the business 40 years and hasn't been successful enough to take care of it, you never hear Jim Cornette having a GoFundMe for medical procedures. He's been in the business 40 years.
It's not like
you never hear Dave Meltzer needing a GoFundMe.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's robbed the IWC, not just the IWC, even long before there was an IWC,
even
for years and years.
Flair. I mean, all the money he's wasted, he's not on any GoFundMes.
Fair point. I mean, K-Dog must have been bad with his money then, surely. I mean, not that he's getting paid
40-year failure. It didn't make enough money. Listen, nobody's that bad with money, Tony Khan. But Tony Khan can buy a health insurance company. It doesn't matter. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Anyway, Enough about Conan. He's just this has not been a good week for Conan. And listen, if he just said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what I got caught up in the moment. I don't know what I was saying. I'm sorry. I take my L. Move on." That would have been fine. That's cool. But no, he's like, it was clearly a joke, and he's doubling down. He's like, if you don't get it, the joke's on you. Shut up. The joke's not on us. You look like an ass.
Yeah, he's been a little snippy, shall we say, lately. But anyway, back to Raw though, Jeff, because as we come back, we get footage of some sportsmen receiving their obligatory?
Obligatory?
WWE Championship title bout.
Are you talking about some sport? Are you talking about Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yes.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what we got.
I'm sorry, it's not Australian rules rugby.
Actually, they do give
Nobody
out
cares.
WWE.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
cares.
Even in the Australian Open, they actually do it there too for some weird reason. But anyway, excuse me. Brock Lesnar then makes his entrance for a contract signing. He's already signed the contract, and he calls Bobby Lashley out to handle his end. He's got a table on the stage and refuses to come to the ring because this isn't the Brock Lesnar show, and he's sick of this because every time he and Brock meet face to face, he leaves him pinned, unconscious, or eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and he's in the driver's seat right now. Lesnar then accuses him of being scared and demands he come to the ring, but Lashley isn't having it. Brock then leaves the ring and beats a bunch of security up until Lashley back body drops him on the ramp, taking a few steps back. He then spears Lesnar hard on the stage as Lashley signs the contract and drops it on Brock's fallen body. And that was that, Jeff. What'd you think?
Very good. I'm wearing a shirt of one big bad kaiju who his catchphrase now is "death to all fake heavyweights." And Bobby Lashley is not a fake heavyweight, neither is Brock Lesnar, but Bobby Lashley came out looking like a rose on that one. He set up a gauntlet, a weak gauntlet, but Brock had to go through it, and once he got through it, he was vulnerable, and my man Lashley took care of it. I'm a Lashley holic.
Yeah, well, that's true. And for once, Lesnar wasn't doing his fake Southern accent, where he's like, "Yo, Bobby Lashley."
Not like you were in Texas.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. That's true.
Weren't they in Brooklyn?
Anyway, they were in Brooklyn. Yes.
So we should have been talking like this.
Can you imagine
Bobby Lashley, eh? I want some water. Where can I get a slice?
And coffee.
I need some coffee. Yeah, well, not to me, you meatball.
Shout out to all our New Yorkers out there. We love you. I mean, especially you, Big Ray, and
ish.
You. I know. I was going to say that. As a matter of fact, our very own Jeff Lippman is an actual New Yorker.
I'm a native.
People don't realize.
I haven't lived in New York for 33 years. Or
Are you still proud of
37 years?
What? Wow, really? That long?
Yeah. Well, I went to college in Georgia and Washington D.C. and law school in.
Actually, I don't think I've ever asked you this, and I don't know if you want to share it or not. But what made you like stay in Baltimore? Like,
I mean,
after leaving New York.
Well, I didn't actually. Well, first of all, when I left New York, I went to Emory, which was in Georgia. I did a semester at the Washington campus. Not the Washington. It's called the Tenley campus. Actually, American University.
Dumb question. You're a lawyer. It makes total sense for you to be based in Maryland.
Well, I mean,
close to DC as well. I mean, come on.
Well, that's true. But the truth is, I love DC and I wanted to go to DC, but I didn't get into any of the law schools in DC, even ones I thought were my safe school. So the closest thing was Maryland, and I had two friends from Emory who were going to DC, and I was spending my summer in Colorado, so it was very easy to rely on my one friend to get us an apartment and do all of the legwork and stuff like that. So, so that when I got there, pretty much everything was set up, and we just did some furniture shopping and shit like that. But
awesome.
It was really funny because we were driving around. He had this convertible Jeep at the time, and we were driving around the city, and we're trying to meet. We're talking to girls who are next to us because we're in the convertible and we're young and everyone thinks that's cool and we're going to go to law school, but we're not quite in law school yet. So we're 21, 22, whatever.
The good old days.
In Baltimore, there's a pretty major street right downtown called Gay Street. And I'll never forget, he sees that, he goes, we're finally home.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Is Gay Street like literally Gay Street these days?
No, the funny thing about Gay Street is not at all. It's
not that there's
actually
anything wrong with it.
it actually intersects with the block, which is like the street where the most of the low end strip clubs are. But I mean, there has been good ones there as well, but mostly the low end. And then basically, it's the back corner of the district courthouse and police headquarters. So it's
beautiful.
It's really anything but. And if you keep going straight, there's sort of government square where there's town hall or city hall rather, and there's a memorial and a little park and all that. And then you can go to the city jail and our Daily Bread, which is a food kitchen, and go up 83, which is takes you out into the northern counties and into Pennsylvania if you want to keep going.
You know what, Jeff? If you were still in New York now, I think you would have been gone crazy at this point.
I hated New York. I hate New York. There's too many people in too small a place. It smells bad, and everyone's in a bad mood.
Everyone says that it smells bad. It smells like urine and
it smells like fuel. It smells like diesel. It smells like
that would bother me.
It smells like waste. It smells everywhere. Everywhere it smells. I mean, until you get out into the Suffolk County and things like that.
In the sticks, pretty much
There
outside
are
of
no
New York City.
sticks.
Oh well, you got New York
stickiest-
State.
I'm not talking about upstate. I'm talking about going out on Long Island. But
yeah.
the stickiest sticks is like being in like Provincetown,
Buffalo,
Rhode Island, or Cape Cod. I mean that's a stick. It's not really sticks. It's sort of like being in like really rich beach towns. It's like Hilton, calling Hilton Head sticks. And no, it doesn't work that way.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's get back to Raw though, Jeff, because this is fucked up. And you know what? I'm impressed though. But it's Michin Mia Yim versus Piper Niven. You know what, man? I like Piper, man. I'm not gonna lie. She's fucking badass, dude.
Yeah. And Michin, total zero.
She's
But, I
done.
mean, fine jobber, but that's all she is. She's a jobber. She gets zero reaction when she comes out. They might as well keep bringing back Aubrey Edwards' redheaded sister.
Where the hell is her husband, by the way? Just quietly.
Does it matter? I mean,
Not really. I'm just wondering because every time I see her, I think of him.
is he going to come to the rescue of Dustin Rhodes? Because is also we don't know that Keith Lee is a second generation wrestler, because remember that's what this feud is about, is that Swerve doesn't respect second generation wrestlers. I don't remember Keith Lee's father or mother being a professional wrestler, so I don't know where he is. I can only assume that he's either trying to lose a lot of weight, or he's sick again, or they just don't have anything for him, like Miro, like Andrade. I mean, people are saying Andrade's injured. Andrade's been injured for 18 months. There's
Man,
no injury.
Pedro Peligroso has taken his spot, dude.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, talk about soiling the faction name of LFI. I mean, LFI.
Oof, they should
that
just
used
take
to
it out.
They used to mean something. I mean, LFI, was a top faction around the world.
Los Ingobernables.
I mean, even in Ring of Honor, they were in and around the title picture for a while. I mean, and I think Kenny King was trying to make a thing of it in Impact, which that's you can't make a thing in Impact. This Impact's not a thing. I mean, unless you're Jordan Grace and you've gone from Otis to Brian Cage in 2 years. But anyway, I mean, LFI. I mean, people look. Roosh has bangers. First of all, I'm not convinced every match he has is a banger. I think he's actually a pretty lazy wrestler for the most part. But even if you think so, he's got bangers. But I think that I recall seeing Roosh win one match on TV, and Preston Vance in this new incarnation, he won one squash I saw on TV, and everything else they lose.
That's for another show anyway. But anyway, that show doesn't even make sense anymore. Anywho, yeah. Piper Niven ends up winning by pinfall with a black hole slam, basically the boss man slam.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That we're informed she calls Loch Ness Slam, as she would say. Instead of slam, it should be
I just
slam.
hope a Loch Ness monster.
I'm surprised they're even calling her Piper Niven again. You know what I mean? Why not just Dewdrop? I mean, it's not too
Dewdrop
bad.
was stupid as fuck. Come on, Piper Niven's better.
Why not? I mean, geez, you can't just. Anyway, she's badass right now for sure. Anyway, we come back from commercials though, Jeff, and we get a recap of Baron Corbin getting beat and having John Bradshaw Layfield wash his hands of him and whatever. But then they just cut to the ring as Sami Zayn ends up hitting the ring, interrupting some backstage follow-up, and gets on the mic. He says he's not here to hold up the show, but he has something to say and someone to say it to, and he's not sure he's going to have the chance Saturday after Elimination Chamber in Montreal. So Cody Rhodes, if you'll indulge him, come to this ring right now, he says. Well, we get Cody coming to the ring, mic in hand. He gets in the ring and welcomes Sami to Raw and asks what he wants to talk about. I'm starting to get sick of that line, Jeff, just quietly.
Yeah. I mean, it was cute the first couple of times, but now it doesn't. It seemed natural. It was sort of clever because everyone knew. But now it's not a thing. It's not a catchphrase.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, Zayn says one moment has been playing in his mind over and over since Cody said it, and that's that it's going to be the two of them at WrestleMania. So he came all this way to look him dead in the eyes and hear it face to face, man to man. Was that just lip service, or does he actually believe that Sami can beat Roman Reigns? Rhodes admits his bandwidth is dedicated to winning the title, and that means he doesn't have a lot of energy to bullshit him. So when he said that Zayn would beat Roman and will most likely be his opponent at WrestleMania, he believed it. But respectively, Rhodes doesn't think what this is about. Does it really matter what he believes? What does Sami believe, though? Zayn says the truth is he doesn't actually know, Jeff. Cody hasn't been in the trenches with the bloodline like he has, and he knows deeply that they always find a way. This thing about Roman being in God mode, he actually is as good as he says he is, and he's seen it. He's seen guys bigger and stronger than him walk into matches against Reigns full of conviction, and every single one of them went down. So now he's supposed to believe that after all this time, after almost 900 days, that he's going to be the one. He believes he's capable of beating Roman and becoming the Universal Champion, or the Universal WWE Undisputed Championship, whatever the fuck it is, and that he's worthy of being WrestleMania main event material. Yes, he has to believe that, because if he doesn't, no one else will. But does he actually think he's going to be the one walking out of Montreal as champion? Well, Jeff, he doesn't know. Isn't that a little confusing?
It doesn't sound like the guy verbiage.
Yeah.
Now,
that's true.
I mean, my main conclusion after this promo, I know you're only not even, probably about halfway through with it.
Yeah.
Was that?
Oh no, I'm near the end, but I'll continue after we finish.
Yeah. If this was designed to show us why Cody is the guy and why Sami's not going to be the guy, while giving us a segment which, in hindsight, wasn't that compelling, but while watching it, I certainly wasn't going to look away, then success. But, I mean, for anybody who's saying that there should be a three-way or Sami should be in the main event picture, he ain't the guy.
He can be the guy in the short term, though, Jeff. I told you, just like a couple of week reign, I'd be happy with that.
No, he can.
He's the Mick Foley of today's professional wrestling, man.
No, Mick Foley was 6'3.5" and 300 pounds. This guy's a beanstick, and he's maybe 6'1". So no, he can't. He doesn't look like a lovable monster. Mick Foley looked like the monster from Monsters Inc. No, it's not the same thing. People want to draw these parallels. That's as bad it's not quite as bad a parallel as people trying to compare Eddie Kingston to Dusty Rhodes, but it's in the same ballpark of batitude. No, he's not the guy, and I'm going to tell you two other reasons why. One, they're trying to get the company sold, and looking at that guy, your world champion, you might as well put it on David Arquette. Two, if the company's not sold, they're going to be doing negotiations with the networks, and the networks don't want to see that guy as a champion either. Sorry.
We don't know that, Jeff. Come on,
I know. I believe me. I know what rich people who don't follow wrestling see. They see that and go, "What the fuck?" I want to see Hulk Hogan.
I get what you're saying, but that's why I'm saying short term, like nothing long term, clearly, and obviously.
no.
You know what I mean? Wow, talk about being a prick, Jeff. Damn.
Well, that
Anyway.
is my specialty.
True.
What do you think the P stands for in PWC?
Yeah, it's not just penis.
Well, prick is a synonym, so.
True. Well, Rhodes continues saying he seems like everybody he knows and everybody in Montreal knows, and he hasn't watched Roman up close, but he's watched him from afar when he won the title until now. And there's dissension in the bloodline for the first time ever. Cracks in the armor, and that's all because of Sami Zayn. You want to say Roman Reigns is on gold mode? Print it and put it on a t-shirt. But Roman is a man, and Sami can crack him open at the chamber and prove it. Cody will finish his story, and Sami needs to finish his. But one more thing, he doesn't want to see Sami on Raw next Monday because he'd rather see him at WrestleMania.
You know what happens to most gods? They get
What's
killed
that?
by their creations.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, backstage. Look, and before I move on, Chris says in the chat, perhaps Cody wins at WrestleMania and comes out on Raw the night after with the Golden Eagle title bout as a singular championship to be featured on both brands. But that's just essentially the WWE championship, essentially. But I don't see him going old school like that again.
I don't know about the Winged Eagle. I don't think so, because I think they have the WWE huge crest in the middle there because of those pictures like the one with Patrick Mahomes, so that everyone recognizes it's branding. However, if the company is sold prior to WrestleMania, I think that there is a much better chance of there being a unified champion. If it is not sold and they have to negotiate with both networks, there's no way they're going to have one network without a champion dedicated to that show.
Have you noticed those talks have kind of died out lately, man, about the sale and all that shit? It just seems to have gone kind of quiet.
Well, there's only so many things that the dirt sheets can make up that they don't know anything about. They've already put all the rumors on there, and then there's been real news, out there as well. So, but don't worry, it'll come back when it's after Elimination Chamber and there's a slow news day. Someone's going to say, we've heard that Comcast is back in the mix, or the Netflix is they're excited about the real housewives or the real wrestling wives, and now Netflix may be making an offer. I mean, they'll make shit up. I mean, don't worry, it'll happen.
That's their job.
Listen, when Nick Khan said there could be a sale as quickly as 90 days, if he was purposefully lying, he could be indicted. So they're talking to somebodies. Meanwhile, by the way, in WWE news, that suit against MLW's suit against them was dismissed. Basically, the court
MLW
said,
one.
Yeah, they said you didn't even provide any evidence reading your complaint, taking in the best light to you to show that there's any violation of law or that there's any monopoly. And they did not compare WWE sports. They believe WWE's argument that wrestling is just like any other sport, which, by the way, I never really thought about this distinction before, but MLW doesn't offer live events. The distinction really isn't between wrestling and other shows. It's live events and other shows. So actually WWE, they didn't use that argument, but they probably should. But anyway, they dismissed it, but they gave MLW 21 days, which is now probably 18 days, to file an amended complaint. But I mean, if you didn't get your first complaint good enough, it's this suit's going nowhere. I've always said it's going to go nowhere, and that it may well bankrupt MLW. But I thought that was
that'd be great. Well, we pretty much predicted this anyway. We knew this was going to go anyway. Last in question.
Last Inquisition. Are we going to be burned at the stake?
I think he means last in question, but anyway, whatever. Know. For the night, should Matt Riddle, Jeff, return as a badass heel, or will he be more of the same old stupid gimmick?
I think it depends entirely upon Randy Orton's health, but I don't care. I haven't missed Matt Riddle at all, so I don't care if I ever see him again.
Jeffrey, yeah, no. You know what? I haven't really missed him either, but you know, I mean, the show's better with him. But
Is it?
good question. I mean, yeah, he's kind of indifferent right now for me, man. Yeah, we need some more tuning.
Do join
Villa, man.
Elias and Boogs and be a new 3-man band?
No, oh fuck no. And you know what? That's gonna happen. That's probably more than likely going to happen. I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, shit. You know, Riddle with his bongos, his bongs. Boog's going, I'm booging out, and fucking Elias. I mean, what can you say about Elias? Why, man?
Bro, no Boogs. Bro, no Boogs. That's such Vince humor.
Ha 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 ha, pal. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get Carmella being backstage with Nikki Cross. Yeah, rolling up, giggling about playing hide and seek, Jeff,
Right,
with
the
their new
opposite
friend.
of whatever the opposite of Rao is for Nikki Cross.
Wolf? I don't know.
Sure.
But anyway, Mella wants to know, Mella wants to know where their other teammate is, and Murder Clown Asuka rolls up, causing her to storm off about how weird she is. Can we
She's right.
relax?
I
She's
laughed.
right.
I laughed 100% when she said, "You guys are so weird," and they are. But I love Murder Clown Asuka.
So do I, but I don't want it to become like a total joke either, Jeff, if you know what I'm
She's
saying.
not a joke. She's presented as a killer.
No, she is, but this segment... anyway, speaking of jokes, we get Candice LeRae rolling up to ask why Nikki has been following her, but just gets a crappy laugh, a creepy laugh.
Right as Candice
for her
LeRae
trouble.
comes up from behind her to say, "Why are you following me?" As opposed to coming in front of her. But okay.
Yeah, even Nikki was looking at her like, yeah, literally, at first. Right. Anyway, whatever, she's a loser, man. Candice just pissed off
good
already.
question. What? She should have said, "Why would you follow me? I'm a loser."
That would have been great. Anyway, speaking of losers,
Nikki could have
Jeff,
said, "You're a loser, baby, so that's why I'm going to kill you."
yeah. Anyway, speaking of losers, we go from one loser to another loser because it's Baron Corbin being interviewed backstage. He says we all saw what happened last week and he's better off without JBL and his bad advice and his stupid cowboy hat, Jeff. That he's a has-been, he's the past, and it's time to remind people who Baron Corbin is. He's tired of being disrespected, like how his interviewee got interrupted for Sami Zayn, and then he says it again, Sami Zayn. He hates to rain on the parade, but Roman is going to destroy Sami at Elimination Chamber, as Baron reminds us that he's the last person to actually have beaten Roman Reigns, and says he got blindsided at the Royal Rumble, and that's the only reason why he didn't win. Now Roman's going to run straight through Cody Rhodes, who nursed a minor injury for 8 months, then got handed the number 30 spot at WrestleMania. Well, technically, he wasn't actually lying, Jeff. And he actually thinks Cody's a joke. He thinks his brother is a joke.
Because it wasn't a minor injury, and second, he didn't get handed it. It's completely random.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. That's right. Kayfabe. Did I mention that he thinks his brother's a joke? And he also thinks his daddy's a joke. And he thinks his dog's a joke, too.
Everyone in the Rhodes family on both shows.
He also told me in an exclusive that Brandy's a joke, too. Just saying.
That's now I have heat with Corbin.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Anyway, Cody appears from behind him and then attacks. Excuse me. They fight to the stage, and Rhodes demands a referee, and he wants a match right now, doing the Stardust sort of talk. And we move on to a match. It's
I guess what?
Shithouse Baron Corbin versus Cody Rhodes in a suit.
Yeah, guess what happens? Cody Rhodes beats him.
Wins. Yes.
Right. Because
With
Baron
via
Corbin
crossroads.
has shown us what he is. A loser.
Fucking loser. And was he really the last person to beat Roman Reigns? God damn it, man.
He was in that match where I think they pinned... No, because I
can't
thought
remember.
that Jey Uso was the last person to pin Roman Reigns.
Fuck if I know, Jeff. I don't know
I
what's
don't
true
know.
and what's not.
I mean, is he going back to like the dog food era, where it was him and wasn't it like Evil Drew and Evil Dolph, or was there some
I don't know,
group
man.
of
They did mention that Boogs eats cat food.
Or did he have his did he have the Knights of the Lone Wolf, which didn't make any sense, where he had the Forgotten Sons as his two goons? I don't know. Whatever it was, I don't even remember if that's true or not. I thought that Jey Uso was the last one to score a victory over him. Maybe he didn't pin him though. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares about Roman? I mean, the Baron Corbin. He's dead, dusted, and so tainted. I mean, I'm sure Triple H doesn't want to do a bus flip, but he should, and Baron Corbin should be the first name on that list, or at least in the top 10. He's probably the most expensive name on that list.
I agree. Well, anyway, we move on though to the next matchup. Well, actually, before we do, we see Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Natalya chatting in Gorilla before the match. Natty complains about Bayley and Becky Lynch trying to worm their way into the match. She and Liv bicker at each other until Raquel's had enough and shouts at them to focus on the match and save this for Saturday. And we move on to the match between Asuka, Carmella, and Nikki Cruz versus Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Raquel Rodriguez in a really Jimmy Crack corner, I don't care type of match. But anywho, Asuka, Carmella, and Nikki Cross win by submission with a modified Rings of Saturn from Asuka on Liv Morgan. And that's that, Jeff.
Yeah, Liv was selling it like she was killing her. So, killer Asuka.
She's a good seller, dude. I actually don't mind. She overdoes it sometimes, but I actually don't mind it because she looks legitly in pain.
Yeah, she's so dainty. But, I mean, Natty talking is the worst. And, like, she's supposed to be a face, but she still sounds like a heel.
Wow. She's a face?
Well, she was on the face team, wasn't she? She's not Rhea Ripley. She's anti-Shayna Baszler, so yeah, she's a face.
Whatever, I couldn't care less. She should retire by now, Natty. Just stop it already.
She's a player coach.
She's going to become the next Moolah, Jeff.
I mean, she's in these matches just to general them. She's just to make sure people are where they are.
She really is the queen bee backstage too, man. In the female,
she probably should be. She's just not a very good, interesting character, and like what she's done to her body. I mean, listen, she can do whatever she wants, but she looks absurd.
She sure does. As we come back though from that matchup, we see Alpha Academy are chatting backstage. We see Otis, or is it Otis, is eating a hot dog.
A Coney Island hot dog, he says, is the best. So he's saying a face thing about the hometown.
Oh, that looked tasty. It just looked like a bread roll with friggin' mustard, to be fair, though, Jeff.
It didn't look like a particularly great hot dog.
No, it didn't. Anyway, Chad Gable then asks him how bad they are for him and throws it away, throwing it right into Mansoor's face, splatting mustard all over him. Maxine Dupree then is taken by Otis and asks him if he's given thought to modeling. Chad, though, answers like he thinks she was talking to him, but she shoots him down and gives Otis a business card. But then we see Bronson Reed rolling up to laugh at them, and then we go to a break, Jeff. What do you think of this? I know you loved it.
I did. I thought it was hysterical. I mean, Chad Gable's acknowledging they haven't had much success. Otis is saying something good about the hometown, which is a face move. Maxine is hot as fuck. Mansoor has been useless until this very moment, where mustard got all over him, and the "Are you kidding me?" was actually pretty funny. And Otis really likes the idea of being a model and being Otis. And obviously, this is going to be a jealousy thing with Chad Gable, who thinks he's the bee's knees, but nobody's looking for Chad Gable. They're looking for Otis, and I think this is great. And as I said, I mean, if Bronson Reed is going to be there, him and Otis need to be a thing, whether they're facing each other or they're a team, or they do the Sheamus and Cesaro thing where they have a best of 7 and become best friends, or like Enkidu and Gilgamesh. Perfect. This is awesome. It's like two short boulders. It's perfect. So yes, I thought this was a great segment.
I will say Bronson Reed looks so much taller and wider than fucking Otis. Just quietly.
Well, Otis is probably about. I mean, Chad Gable's 5'8", and Otis is about the same height, so he's probably about 5'8". I mean, Bronson Reed's 5'10". He's probably our height. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's 5'11", but I think he's 5'10".
He's teetering around that 6 foot mark anyway, roughly.
Maybe his hair is, but I don't think the rest of him is.
He's
anyway.
a big boy, man. He's fucking wide as fuck.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, I think that again, I've said it a million. It's like 2 offensive guards. I mean, I love it. That's what I want to see. This is like Bundy versus Earthquake.
Oh boy, King Kong Bundy versus Earth. Yeah, true. I mean,
Al Bundy. Yes, King Kong Bundy.
Can you imagine that, Al Bundy? Anyway, speaking of Bronson, though, we move and roll on to the next match. It is Bronson Reed versus Mustafa Ali in a glorified squash match, and man, Bronson kicked the shit out of Mustafa Ali, dude.
Yeah, good. Fuck
Absolutely
that guy.
destroyed him. And you know what, man? You say he got no reaction, but I think the fans gave him the right reaction because they ooh and ahed at the finish. They didn't cheer him, they didn't boo him, but I think it was the perfect sort of thing to give him the silent treatment after the bell.
Fans are not supposed to give you the silent treatment.
They
This isn't
oohed and
golf.
ahed, man. They oohed and ahed.
Japan. No, you cheer or you boo.
Well, there's nothing really to boo or cheer about with him right now.
Well,
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
they didn't care
and I
about
don't
him.
think
They
that's
don't
his
care
fault.
about Ali. But I mean, they should
Ali,
have booed.
No, I don't know,
he
man.
gets no reaction when he comes out. He gets no reaction when he leaves the ring.
They
what
were
can I
oohing
tell
and
you?
ahhing, though, at his moves.
Okay, great. They oohed and ahed his moves, but then the match was over and nobody cared. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, there's no... What are they really doing with him? Sure, he's winning matches, but there's no context to him. He's just...
I mean, usually if somebody wins matches, they get a reaction. They react to Rick Boogs.
Yeah, but Booger's got character, man. They haven't really
Well,
given...
there you go.
Yeah, but to be fair, they haven't given Bronson really anything to go with.
Do you think they
far as I
haven't given
see.
Bronson Reed, or this
What-
is the
well-
best he got? Because he
Well,
was
yeah,
born in NXT, he was born in Impact, he was born in New Japan, he was born in New Japan Strong, and he's born in WWE.
He was a killer in NXT. I didn't mind the way he was booked there, dude. And they're trying to do that again now. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Look, we'll see where this goes. Like I said, man, I think it's still too early to see.
You and your Australian top 10 list.
It's
You
got
and your
nothing
Duke
to
Hudson
fucking
fandom.
do that. Yeah, fuck yeah. Anyway, Bronson Reed ends up winning by pinfall with the 747 splash. And that's that. Backstage, though, we get Beth Phoenix and Edge are being interviewed. Edge has comments about it earlier, and he's tired of it. A year of back and forth with the Judgment Day and that Elimination Chamber. They're going to remind them exactly why they're the Grit Couple. I hate that name, dude.
It's not a good name.
It's shocking. Pathetic and lazy. Come on, Edge.
Yeah, and they were the Grit
Damn it.
Couple, what, 15 years ago?
Were they? I don't know. Who the fuck? Who cares? It's a shit name. That's all I care about. Anyway, not much to really say about this other than whatever. It is what it is. The Miz makes his entrance next,
Even
though,
Lita, I
Jeff.
thought were grittier to me.
Yeah, I can't stand Beth Phoenix's hair too, man, but
Her
whatever.
hair's ridiculous. Oh,
It's
it's an
ridiculous.
homage to David Bowie.
Yeah, you said that. You said that
Oh, I
last
did?
week, too.
I can't
You did.
remember what show I say what on. I'm an old
You
man.
did say. But anyway, you know, and now that we're coming up to the Seth fucking segment, he didn't even give us a. But anyway, whatever. We
I
get
mean,
the
I
Miz.
think his outfit said it all.
We'll get to that. Miz welcomes us to Miz TV, and he wants to talk about the Elimination Chamber, mainly to complain about why he's not in the match. He decides to stop talking about himself and about his guest, because guess who rolls in? Mario boots, Smurf boots, and all. I mean, what the fuck were those fucking things? Is it Mario? Is it
I have no
Smurfs? Is it
explanation
both?
for it. It looks like he came in from his job at Disney. I have no idea what those things were.
Oh,
I mean, they were like moon boots.
they were shocking, dude. They were bad. That shit needs to be burnt down.
I don't understand how or why people like Seth Rollins. He's good in the ring. Yeah,
on.
I don't know what to say.
That's why.
You know, I'm not even going to give him that.
Oh, God. No, look, man. There's something... Look, I don't know if you've heard our very own Vinny Rue talk about Seth Rollins, because he made a few headlines over at channelattitude.com, which all the dirt sheets were actually reporting. He thinks this Seth Rollins character is the drizzling shits, first of all.
I agree.
And he can't stand the fans all going, oh.
Well, I disagree. And I disagree on a very simple premise. It's not so much that I especially when he was a heel, but, I mean, we're in 2023. We had a year and a half of noiseless wrestling, or artificial noise wrestling. And I said right after that, right at the beginning, this is terrible. I am not going to criticize the fans. They can chant what? They can chant you deserve it. They can chant bullshit. They can sing along. They can sing Judas. They can do beach balls. They can chant CM Punk. I don't care. Silence is worse than anything they say. So if the fans are interested in the show in any way, even if it's to entertain themselves, I'm for it. Silence exposes wrestling more than seeing someone blade themselves, more than seeing botches. Silence is death to professional wrestling or sports entertainment. So I don't agree with Vince Russo on that. Not with the specifics, but just in that general sense.
I get you.
Silence.
Well, I actually don't agree with it either. So, but you kind of agree with him in terms of his character and whatnot.
I mean, that's no secret. I mean, I'm surrounded by co-hosts who love Seth Rollins. You, fucking Enya, fucking Esteban Pineapple. Jesus Christ.
Whatever, Jeff. Whatever, man. Anyway, Miz welcomes us to Miz TV. He wants to talk about Elimination Chamber. And I was just saying how he was complaining. Anyway, Seth makes his entrance in the silly red Twitter boots, whatever the fuck they are, and the mesh shirt, because why not, right, Jeff? I mean, shit. If
There's so many reasons why not.
Why not?
Is he joining Pretty Deadly?
That's $1 million question. Anyway, Miz asks him what the deal is with the boots. Rollins says it's called style, and Miz wouldn't know a thing about it.
What style? Cartoon character style? Is he in Ready Player One? I don't know.
I like everything about his look. I don't know what the fuck he is. You tell me. What is he?
He's a clown. He's a fucking clown.
He kind of is. Anyway, Miz wants Logan Paul.
He did a curb stop with cartoon shoes on, with like
he did,
with like Mickey Mouse boots.
That made me laugh.
I don't know what I'm watching here.
Come on, man, it's weird. Don't get me wrong, especially when he kind of gets serious in the promo. But I'll get to that. Seth isn't having it though, calling him a dumpster fire that nobody wants to hear about, and encouraging the crowd to sing his theme some more. Anyway,
yeah, nobody wants to fire. I mean, the Miz is a dumpster fire.
Is it really that bad? Come on, Jeff. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
People boo him, which is good. They should boo him. Yeah, the Miz. I mean, listen. I understand his role, and to the Miz's credit, he understands his role. But I mean, you know, and that's what he is. He's the foil. He's the butt of the joke.
Yeah, but too much of that, man. Anyway,
it is getting to be too much. If they ever wanted to take it.
Is he not becoming a glorified jobber right now, Jeff? What do you say?
He's only self-war. Went up there. Yeah, I would say yeah. I would say it's been that way for a while.
Well, there's a few of those people. But anyway,
He's a good job. Well, Baron Corbin's a glorified. Elias was a glorified job at that. But at least they're doing something. It looks like they're doing some of the things, you know, with
get out, man.
Miz has nothing to do with just having a stupid show and being irritated.
Well, speaking of Miz, Rollins says Mama told him what to say. Miz keeps pressing him and Seth snaps, calling him by his shoot name, calling him Michael, and telling him to shut up. Which gets a shut up by chant out of the crowd, which is silly, but funny at the same time. Seth doesn't want to talk about Logan Paul because of WrestleMania. All he ever wants was to headline the show, and that dream matters to him, matters to me, and to every person in this arena because we love him. Paul doesn't give a damn about that ring. He's selfish and soulless, and only gives about lining his own pocket. And Rollins won't say his name because he doesn't deserve it. All Logan wants is attention, and what he needs is to have. He's fixing, Luke and Paul gets jealous, Rollins says he knows Mike's stupid, but he's not that stupid. Brooklyn agrees though Jeff as we shout back then and reminds Jeff that he was head on WrestleMania and Rollins might never. So Rollins snapped and blasted with a chair. As we get 8 count down, Austin Theory yanks him out of the ring before he can hit a blackout. Jeff takes Austin out, but Miz recovers and attacks before he can stomp Theory. And then back inside, fight out of skull crushing finale. Super kick connects. The crowds continue to sing. And with the big red boots, Austin inside an 8 count down. Theory jaws at Rollins and says he's done with him. But yours seem to be done with Rollins also, Jeff.
I'm not sure I was ever, not done with him. I think I started at done position. I came back into wrestling right around the time that there was the Authority. I might have seen I was in and out a little bit. I might have seen the breakup of the Shield, but it was with the Authority. And as much as I like Authority, I did not like the Seth Rollins things. I didn't like J&J Security. I didn't like, Kane and the Big Show were friends, enemies. The whole thing was irritating. And I haven't liked Seth Rollins much. Like I like when he was the U.S. champion and he had the open challenge. That was pretty good. And, there were a couple of times when he was a tag team champion that it started good, but then it got ridiculous. No, I don't like Seth Rollins, but I don't like The Miz either. So whatever. But even if someone's supposed to like Seth Rollins or wants to, how can you take someone serious that comes in a cartoon outfit? Literally looked like he just came off his job of being Ronald McDonald.
The Hamburglar.
It's not edgy. It's not like fashion, like too bold. It was just stupid.
It's attention seeking, no doubt about it. It was like half sort of Heartbreak Kid styles, if you know what I mean. Like he looked good everywhere else, but it's those fucking silly boots.
It's like as if he wished upon a star, but an evil wizard came down and made half of his body cartoon character. No, it was. But the segment, I don't even want to talk. The segment was fine. It's over. It's done. Whatever.
Speaking of not wanting to talk about the next segment, because backstage Elias is chatting with Rick Boogs.
Better than the previous segment. Perfect. This was fine.
The Drifter says he doesn't want the pressure of being compared to him to stress Rick out, and Boogs thanks him. Elias then wishes him luck and says maybe they can do a collaboration one day. And Rick says he was born and bred to rip and shred, and he's going to shred the Miz tonight. He's so pumped, Jeff.
Rick is going to do it, which is better than Big Bill. Thick Rick.
Thick Rick. That's right. He did call himself Thick Rick.
Which is better than Big Bill.
Big Bill's one of the worst names in professional wrestling / sports entertainment history, dude.
It is up there with Doudrop, which you were advocating for earlier.
Only because she's a killer, man. She's going to Doudrop your ass. You know what I mean?
No, Doudrop is not a killer's name. Doudrop is a cartoon fairy's name.
I don't even know what a Doudrop is. What the hell is it?
Doesn't matter. It ain't a killer.
It's a shit drop, isn't that?
You don't know what Doudrop is? It's a drop of condensation off a leaf onto the ground.
Whatever. Did I mention that Miz is unconscious as we go to break?
I don't care about the Miz.
Well, speaking of I don't care, we do get Rick Boogs versus the Miz in the next match. And Boogs wins by pinfall via military press and then into a world's strongest slam. He needs to improve on that finisher, man, if he's going to continue to do that. Just quietly.
It's the Miz's fault.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, next we get Chelsea Green is complaining to Adam Pearce and she demands to be treated like the star that she is.
Correct.
And she plays this role real good. Every week it's getting better in my opinion. Anyway.
Great.
And she wants a redo and a spot in the Elimination Chamber.
Absolutely. She is next. She's only second to Otis.
Oh, no. I could see her being part of Maximum Male Models. Anyway,
Except she's not a male.
I know, but we could add another female to it, and still
We
maybe her and Chelsea Green can be. I don't know. Anyway,
You mean her and Maxine Dupree?
I mean Maxine Dupree and Chelsea Green,
You
whatever.
mean have a lesbian porno? Yes, absolutely.
Anywho,
Okay, it could be bisexual. It could be fluid. They don't have to identify as anything.
Fluid.
But the important thing is they're together.
Fluid 69. Can we call it that? Whatever that means.
No, it's exactly. Is it 69? You know what? Let's look into that and get back to the audience. But yeah, no, she's been doing great every week. While it's not an original character, the spin she's putting on it is great. She owns it. It's been a lot of fun. She needs to start winning something at some point. But this segment was right because Adam Pearce was like, "No, what are you kidding me?" And you know me, but me, Raw, SmackDown, same guy.
Well, yeah, it's true because he does refuse to put her in the three-way tonight, and she says she'll stay here until she gets in the match, and if he touches her, Jeff, she'll scream. And she also mentioned that she's feeling very threatened right now.
Right. And then when he left, she's like, "Where are you going? Why? What's up?"
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, when we come back, we get Judgment Day once again being interviewed backstage. Finn Balor claims they always have the upper hand, and he thinks Edge and Beth like getting beat a little too much. Dominic Mysterio then says the thing about them and his pathetic dad is they were once good, but once good, you know what I mean? But the game has just passed them by, as Damian Priest then talks up all their future victories. And then Rhea Ripley says her rise to the top starts this weekend when she and Finn beat the crap out of the Greek couple, which they won't because they will lose. And whatever, because they're not winning. Anyway, we see then Bianca Belair walking backstage as we go to the break, and that leads us to the main event. It's Bayley versus Becky versus Bianca. It is the Triple B main event. Can you believe that? Triple B's.
Yeah.
By Triple H.
The Killer Bees.
The Killer Bees, literally. Not the actual tag team, but these three. But anyway.
I wish there were Bellas in this match. That's all I can say.
Oh, no. Jesus Christ. Hell no. Well, Bianca Belair wins by pinfall on Bayley, ensuring that neither she nor Becky Lynch will be in the Elimination Chamber match. And I felt this match was a mess, and really Bayley was the one carrying this friggin' matchup.
This match was a mess. I don't know who was carrying it because it was such a mess. Nobody was carrying it. And
I feel like Bayley was
sort of
always
expected
there
to see another Lita show up, but no.
What was that for? Nothing, right? So
yeah, I mean, or maybe this was going to be Trish's turn, but no. I
maybe in Canada this Friday, as a matter of fact.
Maybe Saturday, but yeah, no, this match stunk, and then neither Bayley nor Becky won, and they didn't deserve to be in the match, and Bianca got the pin, so good, fine.
Well, doesn't this just kill Bayley and Becky Lynch even more in a way, especially Becky? I mean, it just makes them look like two little girls fighting like two little girls in elementary school, and they lost. They're not even in the women's title match.
Good. They don't need to be. You know what the thing about WWE is that people haven't figured out is that people take turns. So you spend a year and a half losing most of your matches, and then something happens, and then you spend the next year and a half winning most of your matches. I mean, that's the WWE formula. So it's not their turn. Becky had, plenty of time in the sun. So did Bayley.
No, of course, absolutely. But they're supposed to be two of your biggest names on your women's roster. I just feel like they're not being treated that way. Look, Bayley can take the losses. Doesn't really affect her. I just feel like it's really hurting Becky Lynch, though.
Well, I think I've already said I'm not all that invested in Becky Lynch anymore. I mean, I think that there's so many women on the roster. There's so many women in the pipeline that are so talented that I'm not particularly concerned about that. And I think Becky has one foot out anyway. I think she just wants to be a big enough star to leverage it to do other things. And the easy thing for Bayley, as much as she's in a doldrum now, all that needs to happen is for her girls to say, we got titles, you don't. You're our weak link, and for them to turn on her, and then she can feud with them and beat them both. I mean, and then she's a face. So there you go. Whatever. It's a easy fix, short term, until they figure out something more interesting to do with her.
Well, Jeff, does
Yeah.
that mean thumbs up for Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, like I
go
said
home
at the
show,
beginning, I
pretty
thought it was
decent go.
pretty. I thought it was pretty good. And I'm going to stick with it. I thought it was pretty good.
I think SmackDown would be pretty good this week, considering it's in Montreal.
I hope so. Last week SmackDown was
it's
very disappointing. This week they better have something planned to tear the roof off.
Surely, I mean, they can't let us. Oh, well, they probably will let us down, but no, I think we'll get something good, man. But in saying that, Jeff, tell them where they can find you, man.
Find me on Twitter at IcarusFellMD. You can find me oftentimes here at the PWC, and sometimes where we cross-pollinate, unless I got fired today from Hummy Media Group and Channel Attitude, which is entirely possible, but unlikely. Guess I'm that damn good.
And we're on the PWC, just quietly, Jeff. I mean, come on. We're on the PWC. We can say whatever we want on our networks.
That's right. And Channel Attitude shouldn't be afraid, and Hummy Media Group is where people are unafraid, right? So, but alluded to earlier, my other wrestling podcast is Hammerlock Hangover with Big Daddy Cool Steve Pena. I also was on the Drew Yari's Patreon show. He gave me 5 mythological creatures or monsters from both Greek and Norse mythology, and we talked about those things amongst some other stuff. So if you want to catch that show, you have to give $5 to the Drew Yari show. $5 get you
$5 to the Drew Yari show.
A whole bunch of shit. Yeah, on his Patreon. This was a Patreon only exclusive. We gave away the last 2 shows, which, by the way, you can find on Garden of Doom right here on PWC. There's one with that time Mish fell in quicksand, and there's Garden of Doom. Garden of Doom is the show that's esoteric about things that go bump in the night. It's my curious mind taking me through all sorts of places, and I have a lot of exciting shows coming up. I just dropped a show on Africa, Iranian mythology and folklore. I've got one coming up this week on giants and mound culture. The week after that, I'm going to drop a proper Bigfoot show with the Bigfoot Doctor from the Untold Radio Network, and a whole bunch of exciting things, including I've got an interview scheduled with a practitioner of Dudism, which apparently is a philosophy inspired by the Big Lebowski's The Dude. Garden Views is its sister show, more topical, legal in nature. So check that shit out. You can subscribe to that right here on the PWC or on at podbean.net. So you can go to PWC Network. .podbean.net, and you can subscribe
.com.
I'm sorry, and you can it's right above me. You could subscribe to all the shows, or if you hate it here, you can find them on Hummy Media Group. You can find them on PW Hustle. You can go to the Wrestling Soon Network and subscribe, or just do it individually if you like. But if you subscribe to Garden of Doom, you're going to get Garden Views. The only way you can separate them is either here or the Hummy Media Group.
That's right. And speaking of Hummy Media Group, like and subscribe right there at hummymediagroup.podbean.com. Subscribe right here, though, at the pwcnetwork.podbean.com, and also at channelattitude.com, where you can find us all on the Smack Attack talking SmackDown, and also on Uncaged talking Rampage.
Oh, yeah, I'm on Smack Attack now, right? Also.
That's right.
So I'm on this Saturday as well. Don't you have to plug Podbean? Aren't they a sponsor?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, if you ever want to start your own Podbean or podcast, you can right here at podbean.com. If you use the affiliate code PWC, you can get a free month on us.
That's right.
That's right. Well, thank you for reminding me, Jeff, because I damn forgot. But it's always in the description. Yeah, it's all of our sponsors. So, yeah. Subscribe at podbean.com. Affiliate code PWC Network. Where you get your
if we can have a podcast, anyone can have a podcast. So you might as well do it with the best Podbean. It's all sponsored by somebody else.
The best.
The best.
Shh.
Right.
Shh. Nah. Anyway, in saying that, I'm Jimmy T. He's Evil Dose Jeff Lippman, and you've been listening and watching the PWC Monday Night Machismo right here on the PWC Network, and we're out of here. See yous.
Evil, my friends.
PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.